Hello, storytellers. Welcome to Storytelling Tarot, and this is the Weekly Word, your home for weekly guidance and tarot divination. I'm so excited to get into this week with you. Let me know, though, before we get into it, how was last week for you? Did you enjoy last week's message, and did you find that the messages were relevant? I would love to hear that in the comments. So if you're new here, welcome to Storytelling Tarot. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you're a family member, you've been here for a while, thank you so much for being here, for being a subscriber. And I hope that you would consider joining and becoming a channel member so that you can receive extra perks. I have an announcement. I'm so excited. I am going to be doing a prayer service. It's called the Pleasure Principle Prayer Service, a beautiful offering that I'm doing with my partner, Saint Zolani. We call ourselves the Twin Hoodoo Mothers. And what we're doing is offering a prayer service that entices you into the most beautiful, pleasurable experiences that you have for yourself. And I'm so excited. So if you are wanting to lean into pleasure, if you hear that siren calling, if you're wanting to have a very juicy, luxurious, sexy summer and beyond, then this may be for you. And if you're wanting to build up the courage to have a full-bodied yes experience, pleasure that is within sexuality and beyond, then this is the prayer service for you. And if that's interesting to you, then check the link in the description and sign up. We've been getting lots of downloads, and let me tell you, it's going to be real good. Sign up below. Okay, so now let's get into the weekly word. Okay, let's give the cards a shuffle. Trying to fall out already. All right, let's see. What is the message for us? I'm going to get 4 cards. What is the weekly word? We have the Ace of Cups, the 9 of Wands, the Empress, and the 8 of Pentacles, with the bottom of the deck being the 5 of Swords. So for me, if I'm looking at the 5 of Swords and I'm in the context of the cards that we have on the table, I am already thinking about perseverance. As you may well know, when I see the 5 of Swords, the first thing that comes to mind is by any means necessary. And I know that typically the 5 of Swords has a negative connotation. It speaks about hard conversations, being cutthroat and, cutting people down, and rumors and harsh conversations, arguments, strife, contention, all those types of things, right? But what I think about by any means necessary, of course, I'm calling to ancestor Malcolm X, and I'm thinking about how when he said by any means necessary, he was talking about liberation. He was talking about progression, moving forward. And so I think that on its face, the message of by any means necessary is actually a message that we all should integrate and move through and work with, collaborate with, rather. The Ace of Cups and the 9 of Wands it feels like a promise. The Ace of Cups is inspiration. The Ace of Cups is moving through because you are connected to something that you love. You are connected to something that's bringing you joy. You have found something that matters to you. You have found something that's giving you life and giving you hope. Maybe last week you weren't sure how things were going to turn out, but this week you have a clearer understanding. This week you feel connection. This week you have this understanding. You know, the cups, I say, is the card or the suit of wonder. Wonder and awe and inspiration. Now, I love this because we have this with the 9 of Wands, and that's that perseverance, right? If the 5 of Swords is determination, then the 9 of Wands is perseverance. And so that means holding steady. So what is the vision that you have for yourself this week? What are the things and the goals that you are wanting to move forward in? Return to the vision and hold steady. Understand where you are currently and understand where you have yet to go. And I say yet to go because we have the Empress here. The Empress, fertile energy. So much being born, so much happening in you and around you, right? And you feel that. There's actually a lot of fertile energy here. And when we get into the general predictions, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But what I love here about the Empress is that there is an energy here of like maternal and a fluid energy, creative energy, artistic energy. So lean into that this week. What are you mothering this week? What are you nurturing this week? It's time to nurture, if you couldn't tell already. It's time to cleanse off. It's time to refresh the self and refresh your dreams, right? It's time for many of us to refresh our ideas of ourselves and what we're capable of this week. Nurture and nourish. Nurture and nourish. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is the card of mastery. And if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I've already said that this year is the year of compassionate self-mastery. This is the card that speaks to us about focus, paying attention to what matters to you. And so this Five of Swords as the card that's kind of like the anchor for this week, perhaps it is that we are going to have some type of boundaries with ourselves, with our families, with our commitments. Boundaries around those commitments and determining by any means necessary, I am going to meet my goal. I am going to fulfill my purposes. I am going to become the person that I know I'm meant to be. I am going to push. I am going to yield. I'm going to lean in. I'm going to commit. The Nine of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles is asking for commitment. It's asking for us to lean into self-mastery. And the Ace of Cups and the Empress are asking for us, inviting us to nourish and to nurture the vision, the goal, the creativity. So I will say this is the week of committing to nourishing, committing to nurturing not only what you're working on, but who you're becoming. Not only the work that you do for money, but also the pleasure that you enjoy. Sensual experiences, pleasurable, playful experiences. That's in the cards for you too. Okay, so now let's get into some of the predictions that I see. I briefly mentioned there's a fertile energy. Although I don't typically do any type of predictions when it comes to health, I will say, because the energy is so fertile this week, if you are wanting to add on to your family, to have more children, it feels very auspicious this week. So it's a good week to try. Wink, wink, if you know what I mean. And if you have the capacity to become pregnant and to have children and that's not what you want, I would say be careful, because the energy here is inviting that type of experience. This isn't only for people who have the capacity to have physical children. This is also for people who are starting new businesses or getting this idea for how you want to expand. Expansion is here. So I would say when it comes to your job and things like that, there's a lot of creative energy that you should be honing into. You're going to have lots of ideas. You're going to have wonderful ways to connect with people. I really sense that there are some beautiful relationships and connections that are being forged right now. Nourish them. Nurture them. And if you're wondering whether or not you should invest in particular connections, ask yourself, am I nourished here? Do I feel good here? Many of you with the Nine of Wands, you are coming to a point where you're actually about to close a chapter. And maybe you're having like senioritis, whether that's you're actually in school and you're wrapping up, or maybe you're ending a job or ending a particular chapter in your life. The Nine of Wands is about holding steady, holding the ground. You're almost there. So keep it up. Keep going. When you get to that finish line, you're going to be so glad that you did not stop. So keep going. And finally, the Eight of Pentacles is about studying and focusing, like really editing. So for those of you who are already in business, you might find that you are working some new plans. You're trying to figure out, how can I add all of the things that I want? Some people may be adding things to their plates as far as what they're offering. If you happen to be in any service work, You may be adding services. You may be taking services away. This is a great week for revision for those who are writers, for those of you who are creatives, whatever it is that you do. This feels like a week for you to really figure out, what is my foundation and how can I build upon that? Who do I want to be known for? What does my work say about me? And what do I say about my work? I really feel like that's going to also be something that's in play. Because the Five of Swords is present, we don't want to ignore that it does also speak about contentious situations with other people. It can also speak about contentious relationships that we have with ourselves, all the versions of ourselves. And so I would say, lean into peace as much as possible. If people want to take you there and kind of get you outside of your body, then I recommend disengaging until you can ground yourself and re-engage if it feels safe to you at another time. Honor yourself and your boundaries this week. You can stay in a place of curiosity and pleasure and focus on all the other exciting things you have happening this week, because there's a lot of them. All right, so let's see what's in store for all of the elements. I'm going to start with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. All right. You all have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups. I actually really love that for you. This feels like a very nostalgic week for you, where maybe you are going back and thinking about things that matter to you, people who matter to you. You may find that some people are reaching out and wanting to connect with you. And also there's the potential for you to connect with other versions of yourself, for you to connect with your inner child and your inner child's desires, especially as we're talking about this week of nurturing. You may have children in your life that this week you're finding that you want to spend more time with them, that you're wanting to connect with them. And as a result, you're connecting with the most childlike versions of yourself. But this also feels like you are connecting with your purposes, your soulmate, if you will. And it doesn't have to only be a person, it can also be your dreams, your visions, your goals, the things that light you up. And maybe it's something that you haven't engaged with for a while, whether that's the desire or the connection, whatever it is, though, this feels really good. It feels like you're wrapping some things up so that you can get ready for what's ahead. Let's move on to the air signs. We have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Let's see what's in store for my air signs. This one? You have the Lovers. So I pulled the Gemini card for the Geminis. I love that. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This week, I love that we talked about connection and relationship. You may find that you are connecting with a new community, connecting with new people, connecting with folks who really see you and they want to be a part of your life. There may be people who are choosing you, that you're choosing back. This week, it feels like you're also choosing the path that you want to take as you're moving into a new season, particularly for the Gemini placement, since this, at the time of this recording, we are entering into Gemini season, or we're in Gemini season. So as you're thinking about the year ahead, Gemini, who do you want to be around you? Who do you want to do life with? Who do you want to learn with? Who do you want to serve? All of that is going to be in focus for you. And for my Libra and Aquarius placements, this pertains to you as well. Who do you say that you are, air placements? It looks like that's what you're nourishing this week. Let's now move on to my water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This one. Okay, so there's actually the Five of Swords. Now it's twice. I want you all to make sure that you're not letting anybody stop you from the vision that you have for yourself, not even you. So with the Five of Swords here, like I said before about making sure that your boundaries are in place, and technically we have two cards here that represent boundaries. We have the Five of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So for my water signs, making sure that you are being mindful of the words that you're speaking to people this week. Being mindful of how you're speaking to yourself and about yourself as well this week. Because there's going to be, it feels like the energy may be, you might feel impatient. You might feel frustrated. And sometimes that frustration will cause us to lash out. And so this is going to be important for you. Make sure that you're nourishing yourself as much as possible, nurturing yourself, and making sure that you're redirecting that energy to where it is most suitable and beneficial for you. All right, that's going to be the guidance for you this week for my water signs. And then finally, let's do Earth. That's going to be Taurus, Libra. I'm sorry, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. This one here, you have the Tower. Okay, so Earth signs, things are about to shake up for you. Ooh, love this. Because as I'm looking at everything else that's around, all the cards that are here, Earth signs, I really want you to prepare for your blessing. And know that just because I'm saying blessing does not mean that there won't be a significant shift that causes some type of trigger or that causes some type of grief, right? Sometimes there's disorientations, particularly as we're moving to breakthrough, right? It's because we are orienting ourselves to the new life. And so, yeah, it may be that there are particular things that you were building that maybe you need to reconsider. It may also be that there are particular things that you had your focus on that now something else is causing you to turn and make an adjustment. So you are also at choice. What are you nourishing this week? What is the work that calls to you? Who are the people who are called to you? And how do you find yourself grounded in your body that no matter what changes occur, you are still at peace and intact? That's going to be your word for this week. All right, y'all. That was the weekly word. I hope that you enjoyed and that it was everything that you needed it to be. Let me know in the comments how the week goes for you. I love to read them and I love to hear how they land with you. I really appreciate you being here. So have a wonderful week. Make sure you nourish and nurture yourself. Take good care. We'll see you next week.